As we restart the podcast, today is June 13, 2019. Andrew is in LA, Cypher 5, attending E3. And so why don't you just tell us what's going on? So obviously everyone knows about E3. The event kind of started Microsoft had like a private kind of thing or lottery event on Sunday, right? Or Monday.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, so
a public E3 opened when? On Tuesday?
yes. So
Okay.
Microsoft has like their fan fest that starts I think Sunday, which you can get a lottery and then you can attend the press briefing, which was on Sunday.
Okay.
And I think they have some small events that they can attend on Monday, maybe. I'm not 100% sure if they're open at all, but yeah, the full event opens up 11 a.m. on Tuesday.
Okay,
So,
and this is PST time for anybody listening because it's on the West Coast in LA,
yeah,
obviously. So 1
exactly.
p.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah, so it opens up at 11 a.m. for industry badges, media, and like the VIP people. And then at 2 p.m. PTST, they open up to the gamer pass, which is the $250 pass.
General public if you buy, the $250 pass.
Yeah.
So, wow. So if you have the VIP pass, you get like multiple hours ahead of time, essentially?
So, yeah, for 2 of the 3 days, you get in 3 hours earlier.
Wow.
Typically also the VIP premium pass, they even let you in 15 minutes before even the media and industry. So like Monday or Tuesday, I'm sorry, the guys let us in like 10 minutes early. So we got right online. We were like the first 10 people to get online for Borderlands 3. The only other people ahead of us were like exhibitors. You know what I mean? Like the people that were like from other exhibits were like, oh, like let me just get in
And
you know
play
what I mean,
the
the
game.
place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
wow, that's so cool. So
and
what
they
was
did
up with
that on Tuesday
keep
too.
going. Yeah, keep going.
And they did
Okay.
the same thing on Tuesday too, but since I went to the CEO meeting, I got down there just at 9:05 or something, so I didn't get like the first licks.
Okay.
But someone told me they got in like 10 minutes early again, 15 minutes early again.
So what do you want to start with? So
Oh,
many
I
things to
guess
talk about. Do you want to say how
I
was
know.
Borderlands 3? Did you get to play it for very long?
20 minutes. So
Okay.
Borderlands 3 was definitely fun. I haven't played Borderlands in so long. I was like, whoa, I couldn't remember all the controls, but it was definitely fun. Definitely something maybe to pick up in the fall as like another game to play.
Those games really aren't different from one another. They're just like
No.
it's just craziness, and usually the story is pretty good. The dialogue is like hilarious, and all the weapons. There's like millions, there's billions or trillions of weapons in the game. They say there's so many like droppable weapons. They always like advertise that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like different variations and
Yeah.
stuff.
Exactly. So there was like, and also there's different characters in the game you can choose from. So
Yeah,
they
of
went
course.
through
Yeah.
that. Like there's like a 5-10 minute briefing before we got to play the game that you set in like a little theater thing, and they walked us through the abilities of all the characters, like what they do, what the changes are, and it was like the lead designer of the game was like doing this.
Oh, that's really cool. Did they say like, hey, no cell phones and stuff at this part or anything?
No, you could take pictures in there actually.
Okay.
So like he did it, and as we were walking out, like me and these 3 guys that got in line that were in the premium line talking, we're like, hey, do you do this all day? And he's like, no, I just do it for a couple hours. So we figured that it must be for the 3 hours before the show is open to the gamer pass people, and then they probably just have like a generic person kind of just walk you
Gotcha.
through.
So possibly another benefit of having the VIP pass is like different exclusive experiences before
Yeah, there's
it
definitely
comes open.
a different dynamic to the show. I've probably said this earlier, but like not in the podcast, but you walk in and you have the cosplay, you have these like different like girls like dancing with VR and all that stuff.
Okay.
And when the gamer pass like opened up for everybody, like the general admissions, it kind of seemed like that whole dynamic changed. They kind of the cosplay people went away.
Oh,
So you
really?
can get pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, so like there's like a Darksiders cosplay.
Well,
And
so they went like the cosplayers just like left, or like they just
they
went
just
to a different area or something, like a VIP
no,
area.
they weren't there. I didn't see them. I think they only
Wow.
I don't
Oh,
know
so
how
these
long they could
cosplayers were
rent it.
probably paid to be there then, not like people that were attending the event, right?
No, they were there like paid. Like it was out. They're all the Darksider characters and stuff like that outside of
Gotcha.
that area. And like
Were there
the
general
stroll.
were there general people who were dressed up as anything, like
There
just
were
for fun or
people
no?
actually dressed up as stuff. Yeah,
Okay,
there were some
okay.
people walking around dressed up as stuff.
Yeah, because that's how a lot of cosplayers make money. You know, they like people they stream, people tip them, but they also go to these events and they get paid by the companies to like be
Yeah,
their character, which is kind of cool, actually. I guess if you're
yeah,
into
they
that
probably
stuff.
make decent money.
Yeah,
But it's like
nerdy but
3
cool.
hours of a, like those guys were probably there for 3 hours. The Dark Side are people.
Yeah,
Um,
but they probably got paid for like a good day of work. Maybe I don't know. You'd
yeah, I'm
imagine.
sure they make a decent money. I just don't think they could wear all that like stuff for like more than a couple hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so
So
that's cool.
yeah, all those people went away at like 2 o'clock because I was out walking around. I had to run back to the hotel and go back.
Mm,
And I came back and all that stuff was gone. I was like, "Whoa, what happened?" Um,
weird. Yeah, you're like
so
what? Okay.
yeah, but that was interesting for sure. The first day, I guess I'll just walk through the first day. Like after
Well, let me ask you
Borderlands,
how long does it go for before you get into the first day? Like what time does it officially end? Does it have like an official end date time?
it ends at 7 p.m. Every
Pacific
night. I
Standard?
think tonight
Oh
it ends
wow.
at tonight the last day. I think it ends at 6. It's an
Okay.
hour
So it's pretty
earlier.
long. It's all day thing then.
Oh, 100%. It's all day.
Yeah. Mm.
So it goes the full day. Um, and there's always like the thing is that it's not just like the E3. So you can go in. They have like at the Novo and the Coliseum. They have like the E3 Coliseum, the Novo they call it, is like
Mhm.
talks, panels, stuff like that all day. That you could literally just sit there most of the day and sit through panels. Um,
Yeah.
I didn't really do that much. So like Monday, I think I talked to you a little bit. I walked around, kind of got the lay of the land, figured out like what's where.
Smart
Um,
move.
yeah, and then I went to the AMD press conference that was at 3 p.m. I actually went back to the hotel, checked in, and went back. Um,
Okay.
and you know, like showered and stuff because I was like sweating from walking around. It was really nice out.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
walking around for like 3 hours, like just taking pictures and like walking up and down,
Scootering.
um, scootering. So I think it like went back, changed, and I went to the AMD press conference, which was cool. It was like an hour long. They had some games. One thing I didn't get to do uh, was the AMD Lounge. They have an AMD Lounge in the Novo, which was just their
Cut
stuff
out.
and play
Okay.
some games.
Okay,
Oh,
cut
that
out for
cut
a
out.
second when you were talking about the lounge. What was in the lounge again?
So in the lounge, they had like just like Gears of War, and some games to play.
Okay.
Uh,
But
so
you ended
it's
up playing
just
Gears of War later, right? Anyways, another day.
yeah,
So
I
it's okay.
played it. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I heard the lounge was there. I just didn't think of it at the time, and I could just go to the VIP lounge. So I was like, I don't know what the difference is. I
I
guess it
see.
just has some games to play. But
Yeah, let me. Oh, keep going. I have a question though for you about AMD, but keep going if you want to.
but no, I mean, so like that was just really day one, or like Monday and day one was walking around. I was just like, if I had to sum up day one at E3 on Tuesday, it was just overwhelming. Um,
Yeah.
like I walked in with a guy from my bus who had a premium badge, and I kind of like got lost, separated from him. I walked around and I found him again on like the line, and we
Mhm.
went in, and then I walked around and did some other things. But
That's cool.
definitely ask
Again,
your AMD question.
oh, well, I'll link for everybody listening on the YouTube version. I'll try to put in some of the video pictures and stuff that Andrew took during the event, and I'll also link on the iTunes and on the YouTube video links to the social media where Andrew was posting pictures because some of them are actually like really cool. I was telling people, I'm like, you don't even need to follow Andrew; just go look at these pictures. It's actually kind of cool seeing like all you hear about is E3 stuff all day, but I didn't see a ton of pictures from inside the event. So it was cool
Yeah,
seeing a lot of your pictures, including like the Lego Forza McLaren that they made. They made a McLaren out of
yeah.
Legos for the new game that's coming out. So like, I just thought some of that stuff looked really cool.
No,
And
100%.
yeah. What I wanted to ask you was, so did they mention, so AMD, like I'm still having a hard time deciding what to do. I thought I was like 100% waiting for the new AMD chips, which come out on July 7th. But the more I watch videos, like a lot of people are still using Intel, the i9 one. So did they talk about like the 3700X and like the 39 or 3800X? Like, were they talking about that stuff? Or were they just talking about gaming and next gen
No,
console?
they talked about those 100%.
Okay.
AMD was like all about the new chips. They did a side by side comparing the 3900X to the i9
Okay.
processor, and it does like they there's a video. You might be able to watch it online actually, because it was live streamed. But they
Mhm.
compare the i9 like while playing. I don't know. I can't remember what game it was. Apex Legends, and streaming it in like an unnecessarily high quality, and like the i9 was just like freezing. It was just like showing like it was like running at 1.5 frames a second or something,
Mm.
and the the new 3900X was running at like 50 frames per second. So they were really like boosting it out of the chip. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, at the same time, I don't know like when they do these demos, like like when they're comparing it to the i9, is it 100% the newest i9? Is it and not necessarily the i9 is made for that type of thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, people were saying like I've been watching a lot of videos and they're like it's just hard to say until we get the chip on our own because like it depends on how they built out like each system. You know what I mean? Like maybe the AMD had some specific things in there that was helping it. Like people seem optimistic about it, but people are also
yeah,
skeptical that like they need to get it in their hands first before and like do their own testing because there's a lot of like YouTubers and stuff that are really serious about doing all the benchmarking and stuff. And that
yeah,
kind of goes a little bit of my head. And now I just feel like
yeah,
I'm a little bit more confused. But it definitely seems like for the price to value, AMD is like 100% where it's at, like dollar per dollar
yeah.
basis for sure.
I agree. I mean, I think sitting there, I was skeptical. I was kind of just like, you're comparing things like we don't know what software you're running, what that's running.
Totally. And for
Um,
everyone's disclosure, you have an AMD in your computer, so it's not like you are like a
yeah,
Intel like fanboy or something like that. You're being pretty
no,
like fair about it.
yeah. So I mean, I would look at it like I think it's still a good value. I think AMD, I guess like to summarize like the whole thing, AMD is 100% focused on gaming, um,
Mhm.
and that's like now their thing. Like they're going to be in all the consoles. They're going to be in XCloud. They'll be in XCloud. They'll also be in Google Stadia. So I mean that's not a bad thing because that means a lot of developers are probably using AMD to develop games like Gears 5, Borderlands
Yeah.
2. I mean 3. They're developing on AMD, so it's not necessarily a
Mm.
bad thing to kind of go that
Interesting.
way.
Yeah, interesting. You know what's crazy is just as a reference here, back in 2012, 2013, 2014, we were getting out of college, Andrew and I, and in that time frame. And I had a little bit of money, like it's just a couple $100 that I wanted to be cool and invest it in a stock or something. And I invested it in AMD. And at the time, it was $4 a share. Okay. And
Yeah.
when I bought it, the company almost went bankrupt and ceased to exist as a company. The stock
Hmm.
crashed. I panicked. Luckily, I waited till it got up to about $4 again. And I sold, and I basically lost like, I didn't really lose any money. But moral of the
Yeah.
story is, from that time on, for the next year or so, AMD almost went under. Like, I think if a stock goes under like a dollar, $1.50 for a certain amount of
It stops
time,
trading.
it,
Yeah.
it
It
stops
stops trading.
trading, and it got pretty close to that point. And what saved it, so I think this was 2012. What saved it was the release of Xbox One, because they signed a contract to use their chips, and they got enough
Yeah.
revenue to save the company. So, and to think about it now, I don't know where AMD is at. Last time I checked, I think it was like in the 30s. Like the company is in a way better spot now. They're not close to going bankrupt, like right now, at least for what I'm aware of. And for them to have these contracts and now to be competing with Intel is great, really, for everybody, because competition is always good. And now Intel is going to have to step up their game, and it's interesting to see
Yeah.
that they're still in the consoles. So good for them, I guess. It's a big contract to
Yeah.
have.
I think if you look at my AMD right before Microsoft came in and was like, "Hey, you're going to build us chips and we'll give you enough money to get you kind of going." I think they were.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
kind of
that's
crazy.
like I think that's really what it was. Like typically, not to stray too much from the E3 talk, but like typically a business like a big company like Microsoft or any other company really for that matter will typically not go for the market leader to build a partnership with. They'll go to a smaller company or the third place, second, third place to build a partnership with because really Microsoft goes in and be like, you're going to build us exactly what we want, exactly how we want it. You know what I mean? Like,
They have more negotiating
how when
power.
we say, yeah, like we're going to say when you're, like we're going to say jump and you're going to say how high. And
Yeah,
that's pretty much what I think happened. And now pretty much and it helped them because they did. And now it's rewarding them by they're getting into everything that's gaming
yeah,
related.
yeah. It's awesome. It's pretty cool.
Exactly.
And with that, do you want to kind of we can kind of segue into like the new console, what they're calling Project Scarlet at this point? Is that
Yeah.
what it's
So
called?
yeah, there wasn't any physical console. But they did talk about it. They had like stuff on the screens playing, um, which is using like all the highest end AMD gear right now, and they'll be running at like they say it has 8K capability, 120 or 60 frames per second.
With like there was some 120 frames talk. Like it's going to be the fact of the matter is it's going to be SSD. Yeah. It's going to be 1080 4K, and then they're going to try to scale up to 8K, which is basically what PlayStation said. And some people were trying
the same components.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be similar stuff, of course. It's not like one's going to be really that far away from the other.
Yeah.
What's going to be huge is the new processors and the newer graphics cards, GPUs, and obviously having SSD now seems like SSDs have become way cheaper, and we've seen, if you play PUBG, if you listen to the podcast, you're probably, have played PUBG because that's what I mostly stream and stuff like that. You can see the difference having an external SSD playing a game. It's like the loading is multiple times better than just the default hard drive. Mm-hmm. So that's exciting that all these new consoles will mostly have SSDs in them, unless the cheaper version might not, but I doubt it. I think they all will.
100%. Like in Microsoft, they kind of go into details that are like people don't understand, and that's fine. Like, but they're doing some new things, like, like they always say like the silicon level. Like they say that really more for like the people that are very like technically analysis, like doing some technical analysis on this stuff. Like, they're using like an SSD more like a RAM in order to boost loading times and stuff like that. They're like kind of like using it as dynamic RAM, they call it. So they're really doing so many different things that are like kind of what a lot of the market are going towards. But like that's like what people are trying to do. Mm-hmm. So like they're doing new techniques basically, and they're saying it, and I'm sure Sony's doing the same thing. But it's just definitely going to be powerful.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And I think it was a smart move. There was some people talking about, like some media people and like journalists, video game journalists I saw talking about how like they thought it was actually a pretty good idea that like Microsoft showed up, and talking about how Sony obviously didn't come to this event. And for Sony, I mean, it costs these companies money to attend the event, but basically you're paying for like marketing and stuff like that. Yeah. And, the argument is that in today's age, you can just have your own event, or you could just make a YouTube video and it's costs you like nothing. But I think like the press is worth the money. It's like, do you believe in advertising? It's like doing a Super Bowl ad. Is it worth it? Is it not? And I think most of the time people say it is. And, I did see though during the Xbox event, I was just live streaming on Twitter, and I was watching the live stream on Twitter. It was so annoying because it was really hard to disable the comments on. I don't know if they were using Periscope or some Twitter live streaming service, but like the comments kept popping up, even though I kept trying to disable them, and so much hate was coming on Xbox, and it's kind of crazy to me to still think that, because I'm such a mega Xbox user, that like PS or Sony is still kind of like in the lead in terms of like sales right now. So it'll be, I hope that.
Oh, people were coming in and hating on Xbox in the comments, like saying Xbox sucks.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of dumb because now the Xbox One X is way more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro. You know what I mean? Like, and they showed. I mean, in their thing, they showed 60 games. It just goes to show you people will never be happy with whatever they. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I have to say, this is like the thing is like talking to people that are in their. That was in, the VIP room. Some guy from this company was talking to me, and he's like, I'm like, I was saying like Sony not showing up is a big thing. And he's like, oh, I agree. He's like, it's not a good move in my opinion. And when you go to every gaming station around the whole building, it's all Xbox controllers. Everything is Xbox controllers. So, like, I get it. Like, there's also the ESA, which Microsoft, Phil Spencer is on, and Bethesda and Take-Two. They're all on this board that run this. So you could kind of see that maybe Sony was a little buddy-hurdy, and EA is a little buddy-hurdy about it, and that's why they kind of branched off to do their own thing. And, but the thing is that they have plenty of power to get on these boards, get in there, and make changes that they want.
Yeah.
But, I don't think that it's necessarily like, they're able to do crazy things. You know what I mean? They're just, like... Someone told me that last year when Sony was there, all the controllers were split. There's an Xbox, there's PS4, there's, you know what I mean? And
so yeah, it was
fun.
Like you could still do both. Yeah. Interesting.
exactly, and there's a keyboard. So, it just kind of just like it's like what was the issue? I think they just wanted to do their own thing, and doing your own thing is honestly probably more expensive than just showing up to the event. Which I mean, you're just paying for a booth at that point.
Yeah, but if you're doing one of those big presentations, Microsoft probably paid a lot for that. But I know what you're saying.
Well,
Though, if
they
you're
do it in
just
their own
coming
theater, so
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And what's interesting to me is I don't know if I'm pushing far ahead though. Is this new Game Pass thing, man? Did you learn? I mean, like, was that being like heavily advertised there? You said you got that.
Oh yeah,
That.
it was definitely heavily advertised.
Mhm.
So when you walk into the Xbox theater, you go down through the seating, which is cool. So you go up the stage, you sit down, and the guy comes up. He's like, "Download the Game Pass app now. You get these stamps and your passport thing, and we'll give you a free scratch off, which will give you like a month or whatever of Game Pass.
Is
Free
there an
Game
app
Pass
for the
for you."
public, or was it just an E3 app
Yeah,
or
no, you can
something?
download it now. You can just go to the App Store and
Interesting.
download Game Pass. So, and they explain,
Interesting.
your Google, if you have Xbox Live Gold or Game Pass currently, it will be, pushed into, it'll be allocated as Game Pass. Um, so like you'll get like your remainder of your gold will then be converted to Game Pass, and then like then he said like then you add in this renewable free month, and then your first month is $1. So he's like, you can go in, get your first, let your gold run out, do $1 a month, then add this, get a free month, and then you're good.
Well,
So
what Day Day was saying something that like this new pass. Well, let me get. I guess we should explain it first for anybody that doesn't know. 'Cause
yeah,
I'm
go
pretty
ahead.
sure you guys do. But Game Pass is $10 a month, and you get to play all the games that are on Game Pass. And obviously, every month they're adding more and more games. So really, every month it gets more worth it. And then sometimes when there's an occasional really big release like Sea of Thieves, I'm guessing maybe Halo might be this way. When a game
Yeah.
launches, it's right on the Game Pass right away. So and like for PUBG, you get to pay PUBG for free. Not for free, for $10 a month. So you pay. Well, actually, it's it's $120 a month. So if you're playing
$120 a year.
yeah, $120 a year. Excuse me. If you're playing at least two games that would be full price a year through Game Pass, then it's worth it. So it's awesome.
Mhm.
For me, it's probably not worth it because really for the last year, I've only been playing PUBG, but it is nice
Yeah.
because you do get discounts on items in PUBG when you have Game Pass. And also like maybe I would
Yeah.
be more apt to download other games because I already have the pass. So that's for
Yeah.
$120 a year. You get Game Pass. And now they're coming out with a new thing called Game Pass Ultimate, which for $15 a month, you can get all of the game library on your PC and your Xbox, which to me is the sickest deal. And that comes with Xbox Live Gold. So it's like everything in
Yeah.
one. And there's some kind of thing
Mhm.
though that Day Day was doing where if you buy if you buy Game Pass right now, it's $1 a month, right? There's like a sale on Ultimate and it runs until your Xbox Live runs out. So
Mhm.
what Day Day did is, and this stacks up to 36 months. So Day Day went and bought 3 years of Xbox Live at like a discounted rate for like $90, something like that, or like 100 and something bucks. And then he signed up for the Ultimate. So now he has Ultimate for 3 years at $1 a month price locked in. And he sent the screenshot. It's like
So
kind of confusing, but it's some
I gotta
crazy
look at
deal
that.
you can kind of do. It's like some crazy deal you can do for 3 years. You can lock in some crazy rate. And now he's paying, I guess, like $16 a month or something, or I don't know what it is. Some really cheap rate for like 3 years to have Ultimate, Xbox Live, and all this stuff. I don't think I explained it correctly, but we have to ask him. And there's some crazy deal going on. So definitely
Yeah,
look into it if
he
you're
definitely
listening to
figured
that.
out some weird way. Yeah. I gotta look at
Yeah.
it too. I didn't get to read it yesterday. Um, so I think it definitely is advantageous. Like if you want to play some PC games, like I may get it. So I don't like that could be you get even if Game Pass you have PUBG. I don't know if that carries over to your PC or something like that. Even if it's a game you paid for, it will carry over to your Microsoft account or something like that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That'd
It's so
be
cool
really
because
even if you
it's nice
paid
because
for
you,
it outside of Game Pass.
yeah, yeah. And it's cool because you're going to have your friends list now on like if you're on PC. Like if I go on PC, I don't know anybody on PC. Right? Like once I build my new computer. So me and you could add Xbox Live on our computer and then like have our whole friends list on PC. It's going to be awesome. And then we could play, PUBG or whatever game we want, Borderlands 3 on PC or on Xbox and just switch right over. It's going to be really cool. I think that's
No,
genius.
100%. No, it definitely is, and you can tell that like Microsoft is obviously partnering with a lot of these big companies like Take Two and everything for this type of stuff.
Yeah. I feel
'Cause
like that's
like,
going to be huge for them in the long run.
yeah, because you know that like Take-Two, with xCloud, like part of the CEO meeting, was that they talked about like how important it is to give the ability to stream to everybody in the world. You know, what I mean that the
Mhm.
people in, India and China that can't really afford a new PC or an Xbox One or any system for that matter can play a game for relatively cheap.
Yeah.
And that kind of is pretty interesting. It's definitely a good approach. And like, they had a booth there where you can get on xCloud and play on your phone. Obviously, that's like a huge data draw. And it's funny because I talked to this guy that he was Indian and he worked for this company that does all the testing for video games,
Mhm.
in the VIP lounge. And he was telling me that when he was at GDC, Google Stadia was not well received by people, actually. Like, it was actually people weren't that happy about it.
Interesting.
So that was interesting. I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and I was like, I just question, which we've gone over. We won't go over this again. We're just trying to keep it three. Like, their server locations relative to where people are playing, all that stuff. And he's like, that was a concern with a lot of people as well. So he's like, there's just a lot of like uncertainties. Like, Microsoft has all this huge infrastructure in India, in China, in all these areas, you know, for business, that they own all this space already that they can just start putting in more racks to play the games.
Yeah, it
Pretty
almost
simply.
like,
So
and it's also weird because Google isn't really in the gaming space, so it's like a weird thing for them to enter and like
Mhm.
not even be certain. Like to me, I'm not interested in that at all right now. I need to see some like
no,
serious stuff or like I don't
it's
know, a
not
lot of
worth
people
it.
playing it or yeah.
Why am I gonna get rid of all my Xbox stuff and to just go to play Google Stadia? That doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense to me either. So I
So
agree. Unless I'm missing something, time will tell where the future goes. But it seems like because Microsoft is doing pretty much the same thing, they've pivoted to compete directly with it, with the Game Pass, with PC. I mean, Xbox is like, or Microsoft is really the all-in-one package. Do you want to play your game on Xbox? Do you want to play your game on PC? Do you want to play it in the cloud? We have all of those options. So why not
yeah,
just do that?
exactly.
Unless you really don't like Microsoft or something, have a big issue, then I guess you go to a competitor. It's like if you don't like
Yeah, like those.
iPhone, you go to
Yeah, like those
Samsung.
people.
But
Yeah, all those people tweeting. But the thing is like the people that
yeah.
were pissed off that are Sony fans. I'm sorry, but your whole XCloud infrastructure, Sony is going to be like under XCloud too. They're using Microsoft infrastructure there, so
Yeah, that's what that partnership was about.
pretty much
Yeah.
you're playing Xbox at this point.
Yeah, with a different controller.
So yeah, so
That's
I mean, whatever.
that's
Like
interesting.
yeah, it will be. So I mean, I guess I'll just like kind of go over a little bit like what it was like being in there, so people can get like a really good idea.
Yeah, so you told us a
I
little bit
know.
about day one, but yeah, tell us some more about the day two,
Yeah.
the experience overall.
So like I mean, day one, overwhelming. Day two, I kind of went in with a little bit more of a mission.
Mm.
But I kind of like screwed it up because I went to the CEO thing. I got down there late. I wanted to get in line for Cyberpunk 2077, which they did have a demo, but the way they set it up is that you couldn't like see the people playing it. They did that on purpose, so they would go into like an enclosed area to play the demo.
Mm.
Um, so I didn't get to do that, but I did get to
But
do the
why?
red
So you
pill
couldn't
VR.
see them playing the demo, or
I think
like I don't.
so. Yeah, you couldn't get pictures of it and stuff like that.
I see. So you
They
didn't
weren't
play
probably
that
letting
game.
pictures. Yeah, they probably weren't letting people take pictures of it inside of the thing either at that point. Some of them, are like that. So I didn't get to play it. I
Yeah.
should have gotten down there quicker, and jumped in there, but could have stayed in line. But my goal for that morning was really to Cyberpunk 2077 or get to Microsoft Theaters. So I was like, I went down, looked at Cyberpunk 2077. There's already a huge line. I was like, all right, I'm going right over to Microsoft. So
And tell people the difference, like the day when you walked in on Borderlands, like how bad the wait got versus like when you got it in early. Just
so
reiterate
when
that again, because it's kind of crazy
yes,
to think about.
so when I got in on I went in Borderlands. I waited like I was the first group in. I went back after 2 o'clock when I was back in that area, and it was like over a 2 hour wait.
Yeah, you sent me a picture, and what Andrew sent me was literally like being at Six Flags. I wonder how they do this so well. It was like if you're standing here, the wait is over 110 minutes, so it's almost 2 hours,
Yeah,
and the line kept going. So basically, that line was over 2 hours long to play Borderlands. And Andrew also sent a picture that they had over 50 tables of games or 50 stations. So like you know, they were
100
taking a lot of
stations.
people. Okay, yeah, so that's a lot of people being able to play. So there's a high demand. So we're kind of just
Yeah.
comparing here. Like this is kind of like a Six Flags kind of thing where it's fun, but there's a lot of waiting involved if you have the regular pass kind of, and even for Cyberpunk and stuff. But keep going.
Yeah. So Cyberpunk was long, and the way the line was really wrapped around. I should have just jumped in there right after I did Borderlands 2 or 3.
Mm.
Jeez, I keep saying that. But then, like, dude, if you went, so like, I went to Nintendo the next day just to walk around. I had no interest in like playing any of the games, and they had a line. Like, there's a back area where there's no booths, and they just had tape on the ground, and they had a line of people just zigzagging. The line had to have been out like 3 hours, dude. It was crazy. I was
Damn.
like, this is mental. Like, you come in and you get to play a game, and then your day is like over
Yeah, that kind
for
of
10
stinks. I don't
minutes. You
I
know
don't
what I
know
mean?
if that's I don't know. I don't think that's worth it in my opinion. If you can get
No,
in
and
a
that's
good
why,
line.
yeah, and that's why I said like the premium pass. If you're really serious, you have the job. You know, you can afford it. Just go for it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do any of the other side stuff if you don't want to. But if you really want to play a game and you want to get in like 3 or 4 different games, it's the only way you're going to be able to do it. Unless you have an industry badge, maybe. But they even got in after us. Like when I
Yeah.
went down at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, like they were, was it the Final Fantasy remake or something like that? They were all taking it. They're like, we're not taking anybody. We're giving out fast passes. Like you're gonna get a thing, and you have to come back at that time. Because the day
Mm.
before they had like a sign up like this is capped. Um, so like, you know, it was packed.
Was
And
there
so,
any other kind of additional fast pass or not? Not really. Was there?
some
There was
companies
something like
did.
that.
Other ones didn't have anything
We had
like
to pay
that. They just
extra or
made you wait in
something.
line. No, it was just like they handed you a ticket. They just didn't want people standing in line.
I see.
Because there was like a line that was down the one side, and then there's another line like that was like people like against where you enter, and they were like having a meltdown about it. They're like, there's too many people
Yeah, I
in
bet
this
it's
line
like
right now. So
overcrowded.
yeah, it was a zoo. So it was definitely just important to kind of like get in there and get what you want to do. Like, and then throughout the day, you could do small stuff. Like I did the Red Pill VR, which was really cool. That
What
was
was
like
that about?
so it's just like a Oculus kind of company. They just had a VR like demo that you can go in. It was like you were in like a wooded area. You could climb trees and stuff like that.
Damn, that's
Um,
cool. I've never done VR before, like modern
I thought I was
VR.
gonna throw up. I asked her, I'm like, am I gonna get motion sickness? She's like, some people do, and I was like, shit. So
So what
I
happened?
got
Like, would
in.
you put the thing on? Were you in like a what contraption or like what was it like? You
No,
were in a
just
room
in
or
this. I was
something?
like standing on a stadium on like a platform with like 5 other people, and you just had like an area and some girl, like these girls in these like jumpsuits, like skin tight jumpsuits with like blue wigs on, were just standing behind you to make sure you didn't like wander away or like fall.
What the hell?
And they
Did
just give
that
you these
feel
two
weird
things.
not knowing where you're gonna walk though? Were you walking
Yeah,
forward?
they're like just don't like walk forward. They're like just turn, and you'd walk to walk forward. You would use the joystick.
Oh, okay. So you weren't walking. I was gonna say that would freak me out, but I'm sure
Yeah,
people still do like
but they
accidentally,
had like,
dude.
but Oculus had like rooms set up that you would go to, and the wait was like crazy. I wish that was the only thing I wish I got to do, or not wish, but I wish I jumped. I had noticed that earlier. They had like Vader Immortal, and you can get in, but the wait was ridiculous because they'd had like a small little room dedicated to where you're playing.
Okay, dude, that is
So,
crazy, man. So what was it? What was it like climbing this thing in the
dude,
game? Was
so
it weird?
it was so weird. At first, I looked down and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get sick. Oh, I found my other headphone thing. Wow, yay. Um, just sitting on the floor. So like I looked down and I kind of got dizzy and I was like, oh boy. But then like I kind of got used to it. I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad.
Okay, dude, I
So
can just imagine like when I fall, even in PUBG, when I fall, I get like my stomach hurts because I'm so into the game that like when I fall, I feel like I'm falling in real life. So I can't imagine it's VR. I would probably like throw up, dude. I don't know. I feel like I'd
oh dude,
be so deep involved.
yeah, I was sitting there and I was just like, this is gonna be. I was
Some,
like, oh dude.
some of the funniest videos online like are people who are doing like a tightrope thing in like VR and they like fall over in real life because they feel like they're like unbalanced. Those
Yeah,
videos are. I really want to do that. Maybe when I build my new PC, I guess I could try to get some VR stuff. I
yeah.
don't know. It's so
I was
silly.
climbing up and just like floating around and stuff like that. So
That's
it was
cool.
like pretty simple. It wasn't anything crazy. I just did it. I think they definitely got me with like the girls like dancing. I was like, oh, what's going on here? And they had a huge
Mm,
3D screen and they were giving out 3D glasses for it and stuff. I was just like,
mm.
whoa.
That's cool.
Yeah, they
That's pretty
trapped me
cool.
for sure.
Yeah, trap. Thirst
That's
trap.
what it's for.
You're like,
Thirst trap.
ooh, tight.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? Because there's like they had like screens of like the girl was dancing in a VR suit, and I'm like dancing now. And she was like dancing with a VR suit, and they had a big screen of her like doing the actual dance, like her legs were moving, like everything. You know what I mean? And then
Wow.
had the DJ with VR on, like you could see him mixing, and I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
pretty.
what the fuck?
Oh,
I was
wow,
like,
that's
what
pretty
is going
crazy.
on? Yeah, so I did that. But like honestly, like I guess to kind of like summarize it, it's kind of hard to go into depth with everything, but like you walk through, and like the first day I was like, holy crap, there's so much to see. Um, but like it's kind of like you kind of like need to take it in chunks. There was this like I would go do one thing and I walk around for a bit, do something else, walk around for a little bit. But it
Yeah.
was really fun. Like it was cool just to walk around. Like I actually saw like Drexel University has like a gaming like guys that coded gaming and they were trying to get like published. So it was like Drexel's from New Jersey, if people obviously people don't know. And I sat down and I played the game with them, the game they made, and stuff like that. And like I got to see Kumail Nanjiani, the guy from Silicon Valley, and that new show
He was just
movie
walking
Stuber.
around.
He was doing an interview, so I sat down and watched that.
Oh, cool, cool,
I
cool.
got to watch some pros play some PUBG with random people.
Oh yeah, my bad. I was doing something. You sent me a message like these pros are playing with some people, and someone's running around with no ammo in their gun. Right? What were you saying?
There's a guy like they played with the people in the military, and like these
Oh,
guys
that's
didn't
that's
know how
cool.
to play. So they
Oh, okay,
played the
but
first game
yeah,
with them, and the guy didn't have like he picked up a shotgun and then just ran away and didn't pick up ammo. And we were like, you think they would have picked someone that like to come to this that plays games a little bit? You know
because
what I
there's a lot
mean?
of people
Like,
in the military that play, but it's cool that they gave them that
yeah,
experience. That's nice.
yeah. No, no,
But
it's a cool experience, but it was like watching it. We were all like, and the thing is, the big screen was on him, so everyone was sitting there watching it, just like this hurts. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah,
put it
yeah,
on the
yeah,
pro
yeah,
guy that's like not like killing people by the like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just
That's
like
funny.
mowing people down with the barrel. You know what I mean? So
That's
um,
awesome.
yeah, it was definitely really cool. Like there's just a lot to experience. Like the whole week, I think like it's hard. Like the kid I was with, it was his third one. He was kind of a he had come down from Canada with his mom, and his mom just would go shopping all day. He was like 22 or 21, and he said this is his third year. Last year, the first year they drove down, he bought tickets at the show, and he had just got they only had VIP left, so he bought the VIP, and he's
Got
like
addicted
ever
to
since
it.
then he can't. Yeah, he's like ever since then I don't think it's worth getting anything else. He's like it's worth the money to me, and I'm like yeah, I'm like I would have trouble going backwards next year
Yeah,
if I
definitely hard to go backwards. Yeah.
and I was like it's nice to have the VIP lounge where you can go charge your phone, get some food. They had information there. You know what I mean? Like it was easy. They had some chairs. So, but like in reality, getting there early, you get a little bit more leeway. Like I was able to get in and walk around different areas earlier, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
And so he had told me. I had asked him. I was like, "Is it?" He's like, "This year is way different than it was last year." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, is there less? Is there more?" And he's like, "No, there's definitely the same amount." He's like, "It's just different." He's like, "It's hard to describe." He's like, "There's just
Mm.
different stuff going on here." Um, so it's definitely like if it's something you want to do and you enjoy games, I would say like if you only play like one game and you hate other games, maybe not necessarily worth it for you. But like I play one game and PUBG, and I found the whole experience to be worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
So
I think as like I love gaming in general that I would enjoy, and I do play other games from time to time, but I do focus on like mainly one game too. But I'm definitely in the mood to play some more games, and I feel like honestly, I agree with you, dude. If you're gonna do an event like this, obviously everyone has their own opinion, but if you're already gonna spend the money to go, it's kind of like building a computer. If you're gonna build a computer, just build it. Just buy what you need.
yeah,
Not saying spend $1 million, but like if you're gonna go one time, not that it's a once in a lifetime event, but just spend the money. I did that one time at Coachella. I went to Coachella one time, and it
hmm
was like the music festival, and I paid for like a little extra pass. And like to me, that was like some of my best memories were the time I had like because of that extra money I spent on the experience. So like in the long run, I don't even think about the extra money I spent. I just have those memories. So it's cool. I would definitely
yeah.
try to do the same if I were to go next year.
No, I agree. Because like what it was like I got in a premium line. There's not a lot of people, so I got to talk to people, wander around with them for a little bit. There's another guy that was like he was the mod for but like for Fallout or something like that. I kind of wish he just like disappeared after Borderlands 3. I wish I got to talk to him more.
I
But he,
see.
so like you get to talk to people because it's a smaller group of people. You meet people in that room.
Yeah,
So it
that's
was
cool.
definitely like worth it. It was helpful because like I guess yesterday when I talked to him on the phone, and is the Nate Evil Can of WD-40 was like, you sounded melancholy. I was just beat. You kind of get to this point where you're like, I don't know what to do. I stood in line for like, I did a whole bunch of games. I was like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot to do, and I'm just like skeptical of what I would
What do you
like
want
to
to spend
do.
your time on? Yeah.
Exactly. So, when I was walking out, actually, the kid from my hotel was actually walking out at the same time. So I was like, oh, like, he's like, PUBG's on it too, over in the other theater. You want to go over there? And I was like, oh, yeah, like, definitely. So we wandered around, went over there, and we watched PUBG. Um, and then we saw Camille and Gianni and stuff like that. So it was like helpful, so like going with someone would have been nice. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, sorry, dude.
But
Yeah, I definitely fun.
not
I would have loved to be there.
because if you sit down, like, when you're by yourself, you just kind of get tired. You're like, oh, wow, overwhelming. But then,
Yeah, it
like, if
helps
you're
because
with
you
a group
bounce
of
off
people,
somebody
everyone,
else. Yeah.
yeah, because someone could be like, well, I want to do this. And you're like, well, I'm not 100% into it, but I'll do it. Then you go and you're like, oh, wow, like, that was worth doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally, totally, totally.
So,
Making me feel bad. Thanks, man. I'm just kidding.
sorry.
No, I
I
wanted to
heard the
ask you.
stream was making you feel bad yesterday. So,
Yeah, they were. The whole stream was like laying into me. They were just like trolling me. It was really funny. And I saw you tweeting today, like hashtag
oh,
Where's
yeah.
Ray?
Yeah, the guy.
Hashtag
Yeah,
Where's
the
Ray?
guy. Yeah, the guy that, like, the streamer, that girl that was like, I don't know what she does actually, but the guy, like, wanted the picture and she couldn't do it. He called her a cunt. I was like, how are you gonna be so mean to people?
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Like, dude, people just get so nasty.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, the gamer pass, like, you know, the general admissions is like they clear out a lot of that stuff. I just feel like they probably had issues before
Yeah.
or something, and they're just like, we can't have, because typically with an industry pass, you're representing a company. So like you do something, your name's on the badge, like you can get in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't, you just have your name on your badge. Everyone has a name, but your gamer pass, like, it's not like they can go to the company and be like, hey, your dude was doing this. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
There's
seems
not
like
much
it almost should just
repercussion.
be for like VIP, like company stuff. I know it might be sound like elitist,
And it
but
was,
like, yeah, I don't know.
but it was like that before. So I get, like, that they kind of changed it to let people in because of, like, the declining numbers. But
True. Plus,
so
yeah, that's true. I'm kind of wrong on that, but because like they want
no,
to make it like an experience where people show up to, like kind of Comic Con. I think they should support more stuff. Like,
yeah.
was there like any like drink vendors, like Red Bull or Monster or anything involved? Or
So
not
there
really.
was
Like,
so there's that Bang Energy drink, which they had like a stage set up, and they were just like all these like girls dancing in like bikinis,
mhm.
and I was like, this is ridiculous. Thirst trap times 10. They were just handing out the drinks, and I drank one, and I thought I was gonna die from it. It's disgusting.
I
Um,
had one this weekend for like the first time, and
I
yeah,
drank the one and I had to throw it out, and then I got another one, like a coffee one. That was all they're giving out because I was just like, oh, I just want something to drink. And my stomach immediately hurt, and I don't know if it was because of I don't know, like I just wasn't feeling great before, or was dehydrated, I think, a little bit.
mhm.
So, um, but anyway, yeah, and then they had Game Fuel was there, and then Razer has a new drink that they released. What is it called? Razer.
Razor.
Razer, like the keyboard company, has a thing called Respawn,
Oh, really?
which is an energy drink.
That's
It's
cool.
an
I never
energy
heard of
drink.
that.
It's a powder you mix into your drinks. And it
Oh,
was good. I tried
why
one.
do they do that? They like a gamer, the original, what is it? Not Gamer Fuel, the original G Fuel. That's like what all
G
like
Fuel.
YouTubers and stuff are sponsored by. It's
Yeah.
all that like powder stuff. But I like, yeah, I'm not really into that, but maybe I would be. But I like the if I'm gonna drink something other than water, I like it to be kind of carbonated. But I've never
Yeah.
had Gamer Fuel, surprisingly, but everybody says it's pretty good.
It was okay. I mean, I actually did like the Respawn a little bit better, to be
That's
honest.
interesting, man. That's cool. Respawn. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool name for it.
I got like a whole bunch of boxes of like mixed flavors, so I kept going back and grabbing them. I was like, these are small, I'll just throw them in
Like
my
free samples or
suitcase.
whatever. Just yeah, just yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a box of like four different, like a variety pack. So it's like, yeah, I'll just grab a bunch.
You
Because then
kept
like I'll
going
mix
back
it
and
on the
like, oh, it's my
plane.
first time here.
Yeah,
And take four more. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh, this is cool. Let me take this.
they didn't care.
Yeah. Usually they
Yeah,
don't.
so no, yeah, it was fine. But dude, overall, like it was a fun time. Like even by myself, I had a really good time. And like the only thing I think I would do differently is you know, especially if I go with somebody else next year or something, I would just like cave for a little bit nicer of a hotel room. Even though I'm only here for a little while, the hotel room was kind of far. Not
Okay.
far. It was a mile away. It was a 20-minute walk. But in LA traffic and stuff, it was hard. And the thing is, my room is like tiny, so it's just like a weird room.
But it wasn't like you were in your room that long, but was it just awkward sleeping in there or something? Or
Yeah, it was a little awkward. Like, I mean, I had to like poop with the door open of my bathroom because I was like, I just feel so like cramped in here. So
dude, what's crazy is I had to get eye surgery once, and well, twice, and I got one done in L.A. and
Mhm.
I even paid for like it was near Beverly Hills, so everything was very expensive, and I was like, well,
Yeah,
I'm getting my eye surgery, I'm going to be really uncomfortable. I need to stay there for a couple of days so they could check on my eye after the surgery,
yeah,
and me and Grace, my fiance, split a hotel room together, and like we paid this amount of money and it was still so tiny. We're like, dude, this is all this money gets you in this area.
yeah.
It was wild how small the hotel room was, like
No, yeah.
disgustingly small, but obviously real estate there is pretty slim.
Oh, it's really expensive. I mean, I paid it was like 180 a night, and like the hotel that was a little bit closer was like 220 a night. You know what I mean?
So for
So
like $40 more, yeah, I could have just
yeah, and I think what I would do also is that like E3 allows you to book from Monday through Thursday, so you have to check out Thursday. I would
mm,
probably just try to pay, even though it might be a little bit more, for the Thursday night in the hotel, so I could check out Friday. Just
yeah,
because I think like I would like to go to E3 during the day. Like today, I'm going to San Francisco, so I just was like, it's fine, not a big deal. But I would have liked to done them like the whole day there on Thursday, because like I think like a lot of people probably do check out and start like filtering out by like 2 or 3, and then like the last couple hours, I'm sure like maybe booths are breaking down, but you could still go around and like probably get into some stuff like before they close, you know.
yeah.
And
Oh,
then
you know
like
what'd
it
be
would have been
sick?
nice to enjoy the last night and like even if you didn't like spend the day, like half the day on Thursday, like go to the beach or whatever. You know what I mean? Just
Totally,
not be
yeah,
rushed out of like, out of the hotel because you have to like leave your bag here, then you got to come back. And it's just like, it's not worth bouncing
totally.
around half the morning to do that. So,
Yeah, I really hope that next year it's still open to the public. Because this is like the third or fourth year that it's been open to the public, and that's
yeah.
gonna be my goal for next year is definitely to go. It sounds
Yeah.
like
I
it'd be a
think
good time.
Yeah, we could split a room. I mean, if you have someone to go with and you split a room, like yeah, the $220 room is good. Dude, the thing is, this hotel, it doesn't have two queen size beds. It'll give you like a twin size bed if it's like two people in a room or something like
Oh
that.
wow, so they're really going small.
Oh, dude, it's really small. Small.
Would
I
it be
can't
fun?
pull my chair out of that
What if we,
space.
what if we rented an Airbnb and we did E3 and then we streamed after in an Airbnb? That would be so much fun. Something like that. That'd be
It would be
crazy.
fun. Yeah, I'm sure you can
That,
get it if you get it far enough in advance.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And
Um, yeah,
well,
definitely.
I want to ask you a couple questions. So because you didn't really you kind of briefly talked about this, but you didn't like say it too much for the stream. We talked about it on the phone, obviously, because Andrew was calling me and
Sure.
pretty
Sorry,
much
you just
updating me
broke
all the
up.
time. Oh, I got a couple
Yeah.
questions for you. So one is you touched upon it briefly. You went to a CE that like meeting with Phil Spencer and you got to meet him, but you didn't really talk too
Yeah.
much about it on the podcast. Like, do you want to just tell everybody what that
Yeah.
was like? You sat through the meeting and got to talk to him afterward, or take a picture with him at least.
Yeah, so basically they just talked about like what was the future of gaming, quote unquote, and they kind of did like they really started with xCloud and how like they really want to go out and give people that don't have the ability to buy an Xbox Scarlet or whatever the ability to play at the same quality as someone that does, but maybe not exactly the same quality. They want to have like a similar experience.
Mm,
Um, and be able to seamlessly play on your Xbox, then use your Xbox as a server and play on your phone wherever you may be or your computer or something like that,
yeah.
which is kind of cool. And then they kind of talked about like how, like necessarily like how these guys, like the companies like Take-Two and Bethesda, like will leverage this to build more games and like how it's important that like there are console updates and like how, towards the end of like a generation, like companies like Take-Two and Bethesda kind of feel like they're constrained by what the abilities of the console are. And
Mm,
he's like,
yeah.
they're saying that like Scarlet, like, by Microsoft updating now every 5 years or something like that, like by doing this new console and like having a huge jump in technology, it gives them a really wide girth. And also like with, the cloud, like the streaming services, if it gets better, like these updates could be more regular. and stuff like that. Like they you know, kind of like maybe eventually move away from a console type of thing. Maybe the
Mm,
console would just be a medium, and all the power will come from, you know, streaming. But that was kind
interesting.
of like the thing, like they were saying, is important, you know, because they can just keep creating more content, make things better, you know what I mean, and not feel constrained. But they said like Scarlet in this next generation will be such a big jump forward that they're like, you know, this will cover us for a long time. Like we're almost ahead of like, you know, TVs at this point with the power of the consoles, and it hasn't ever been that way, which
Yeah,
is
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, I like
You
that's
know,
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
I
we
think
don't
it's
have
moved
like
from like just like a
8K TVs, you know.
yeah. I think it's moved from like video games, like even when the Xbox and 360 were coming out, the original one, like it was a hobby, and now they know like with the Xbox One X, like this is so legit now that there's like it's worth them. You know, between the competitive aspect and everything else, like this industry is beyond a hobby now. It's like
Yeah.
it's such a big industry that them putting the money in is worth it. So like more R&D and stuff like that. That's awesome, man. And I
Hmm.
also want to just get your opinion. Did you like what you saw about Cyberpunk? I mean, I kind of fell out of RPGs, but that game looks so dope. I'm definitely getting that like 100%. It looks really, really cool. Did
Yeah,
you like
I thought
see
it
any,
was cool.
okay.
I
Just
saw
did like
like I
some of
saw
the
the stuff
trailer for it.
walking around. They didn't have. I wish I got to play the game, but I saw the trailer. I saw the game a little bit. I think it looks like it's gonna be a fun game. Um, they kind of went pretty big on it. It's a Warner Brothers owns that company that's or like is publishing it, so I think it'll be a good game. There was a lot of hype on it, so the line was probably one of the biggest lines there.
Yeah.
So to play.
And did you see anything like a small game or like that Age of Empires? Like what was there anything that you were looking forward to other than like the main games, like big
No, so
titles? And
yeah,
obviously, I mean, you play PUBG a lot.
yeah.
So
I mean, I playing you know, Gears 5 was fun because I haven't played Gears in a long time. Also like playing Age of Empires, like when I went to Microsoft Studio, like, you want to play Age of Empires? I was like, oh shit, yeah. And I played it and I was like, wow, like this was fun just to play. I was like, for 20 minutes, I was like, this was really kind of fun.
I think I'm
You
definitely
know,
gonna be picking that up, man. Age of Empires 2. I want a relaxing
yeah, it's
game to play. The remastered version of
exactly.
that.
It's definitely a chill game. Yeah, it's
I don't
definitely a
have
chill
one
game.
relaxing game to play. Yeah.
Definitely. And it was fun to play. And I was like, wow, I forgot how fun these games are. You know, I mean, very simple, very chill. You know, you can
Yeah.
kind of like do what you want. So that was cool. They gave me a t-shirt. I
Nice.
mean, dude, there's just so much to experience there, you know. It was a ton of fun.
Nice, man. Sounds like it was a good time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. It sounds like it was a good time. So I'm
Yeah.
happy you went. It's pretty cool. And then now off to San Francisco, and then you'll be back home next week.
Yeah, I'll be home on Monday, so pretty
Oh, very
long
nice.
trip.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not looking
very
forward to
nice.
going back to work. I must say though, like yeah, like it almost makes me feel like, oh wow, I should just quit and join the video game industry. But I was like, what, you know? Uh,
You could eventually, move into that industry. It seems like a fun industry to work in. You know what I mean? I mean, from like a
yeah,
business perspective.
yeah, maybe. I mean, you know, like walking around and talking to people, like most of the people you see there aren't like working for the gaming company. You know, like the
Mm.
people helping you at Borderlands, it was like they were talking to us online, this girl, and she was like, you know, I'm like, I was like asking her like, oh, like how do you like working at Take Two and stuff? And she's like, oh, I don't work at Take Two. And I was like, oh, she's like, I'm part of a staffing agency here in LA. I was like, oh,
Oh, interesting. So they were just like kind
so
of contract
yeah,
employees or workers.
exactly, yeah. So not everybody. I mean, some of them from the company, but like some were not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
you know, so like, which is fine. And she's like, oh, I really like board like, you know, video games and stuff. So she's like, I really jumped at the opportunity to do it. So I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I mean, you get to be here, but I'm like, you're standing at Borderlands all day for 10 hours a day.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just, which is fine. But like, so like, you think it's gonna be like a glamorous job where you get to go to these things, which maybe it might not be.
Might
But
not be as
it's
what you
definitely
think. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like the thing is like the atmosphere was really awesome. You know, I think that's the important part to recognize is that like, you know, when I was in a coffee shop that was like 15 minutes away from the convention center, like there's just people with their badges in there and talking about gaming and it's just like a fun atmosphere. It kind of like reinvigorated my like passion for gaming and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Awesome. That's awesome.
So
That's really cool.
I
Yeah.
think that was like the main takeaway. Like you really kind of I walked out of there with like I want to play video games. I really enjoy this stuff. Like the community is really great. So It's definitely
Yeah, it gets a lot of flack, but for the most part, the gaming community is awesome. It is. There's a lot of like trolls, but that's just on Twitter and elsewhere. But like for the most part, it's a awesome community. So
yeah,
for sure.
exactly. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to being home. Not looking forward to being at work. But I think next year I think it would be good to plan out like if I'm going to do this again, which I think there's a really good chance I would like to. I think maybe the first year is a little bit shaky, but then like because that one kid really knew what to do, but like me, I didn't really know what to do. So maybe the second time you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing, I know what we got to do, I know where I got to be, stuff like that. So
yeah, totally. Always helps when you're going back a second time.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So it was,
but nothing beats the first experience, though.
Yeah,
like,
nothing will come close to that first overwhelming experience for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for making time to do the podcast while you're traveling and stuff like that. I kind of felt bad too, again, because taking up your time, but I appreciate it. And it's good to recap like all this stuff. What a cool experience. I'm sure we can talk about more stuff next week or when you get back that we might have forgot. But I think we covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And safe travels, man. Safe travels to San Francisco and back home. And hopefully I'll see you maybe next weekend or something. I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to clean up everything now, and I got to check out and head to the airport. I'm going to head there a little bit early, and I'll just hang out in one of the lounges I got to pass. So, I have Wi-Fi, so maybe I can hop in the stream and watch you stream for a while.
Yep. Nice, man. Nice. Well, yeah, again, safe travels. I'm going to start the stream soon. And all right, everybody. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and hope you had fun at E3, dude. It sounded like it was fun. Sounded like a good time.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Yeah, thanks, everyone, for joining us in the final circle.
Of course, man. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Later. Everybody. All right, peace.